Okay, so for today's practice, make sure you have, if you would like, pillows or a blanket, anything that can help you be a little bit more comfortable. And we're going to start sitting up or lying down. You can choose which one. And if you're sitting up and you have the blanket underneath you, you can roll it a couple of times so that it creates a bit of a shelf for you to put your sit bones on so that you can tilt your pelvis some, whatever makes you more comfortable. You can take the blanket and put it on your lap to maintain a little bit of warmth. And when you're ready to, have a breath in. And when you breathe out, just let the eyelids start to rest. And become aware of how you fill the space. Become aware of the fact that just because you think something does not mean you have to follow through with it or believe it or spend any energy on it. Depending on where you're at today, you might find an abrupt dismissal of some thought process can be helpful. Just decide off the bat that there is no mental real estate available for whatever type of story that is not helping you. There is just no space. So when it comes up, you dismiss. What's important, though, is to recognize that everything has to be allowed. If there's a lack of receptivity to anything, the thing, whatever it is, gets a little bit of power. So possibly even with a sense of humor, or approaching thoughts as you'd approach a child. Especially the stories that don't serve. See it. Recognize it as just brain stuff. And without pushing it away, simply give it no time, no power, no nothing. And notice your breath. Notice if you feel a sense of saving energy or almost gaining it because you have decided, made the intention to not spend your time on what doesn't serve. So more time is opened up for your attention to be present to how you're breathing, what your senses take in, how the body feels. Take your hands up in the air and start making gentle circles with your wrists. You can even shake them out if you want to. Stretch out your fingers. Grab one wrist with the other and give it a squeeze, give it a little massage. Notice your breath. Switch the hands. And again, the sense of a very kind, very sweet dismissal. Just opting out of any stuff that comes up that isn't helping. Let's come on to hands and knees. And when you're ready to, with your knees a little bit further away from your wrist than they usually would be on hands and knees, and your hips a little bit closer to your heels than they usually would be, lift your sit bones up like cow pose, lift your sternum and lift your face, and then really slowly rock forward a little bit in a way that feels fine on your back, nice and easy, and then rock back, maybe all the way into a child's pose. Inhale. Lift your sit bones, lift your sternum, rock forward a little bit, only as far as feels really good. And then rock back as far as still feels really good. Come up again, lift your sit bones, your sternum, your nose. Lots of breath here. And then back. So let's incorporate a little bit of a cat pose too. So now when you're in child's pose, tuck your tailbone some, drop your head and travel almost all the way through cat pose. So lots of flexion in the spine. But then lift your sit bone, your sternum, and your nose when your shoulders come over your wrists. And have a breath in and then exhale, let your hips really easily drop towards your butt. And then tuck your tailbone around your back, coming up to hands and knees via cat pose. And then into cow, lift the sternum, the nose, and shifting back towards your heels via cow pose. Couple more on your own. You might exhale up and inhale back, it's up to you. You might take extra breaths too, whatever feels good. But when you're ready to, stay on hands and knees. Reach your left leg back, breathe in. And exhale, take your left knee to your left wrist. Swing the leg over to the left a little bit, the lower leg, and shimmy your right leg back for pigeon. Just take a breath in. You can bring the top of the right foot to the floor. Maybe come onto your fingertips if your back likes it. When you breathe out, lower your torso down. Come onto your fingertips. You can separate your hands as much as you want to. Inhale, lift your chest up a little bit, nice and easy. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift your back, lift your chest up, lift your face. Exhale, lower down and stay there. Make a pillow with your arms. Breathe. And notice again if there's a sense of almost like a constant mild sort of argument happening in your head or a fight. This incessant kind of problem solving. Even sometimes real quiet, real in the background. And recognize that as something that has probably literally saved your life and that of your ancestors. We need it. And right now, as you breathe, you focus your attention to your breath. You recognize when your mind wanders. Dismiss what doesn't serve. Redirect your attention to the breath. Let's lift the torso up. Head back to hands and knees. And from here, come onto the fingertips and separate the hands quite a bit. When you're ready to, lower your chest towards the floor. Let your elbows bend. And keep your butt kind of high up in the air. Just see how that feels. Go ahead, straighten the arms nice and easy. Exhale, lower your chest. Inhale, straighten the arms. And now from here, take your left leg up, that same one that you had forward, left leg up, bend the knee. And then exhale, lower your chest down towards the floor, only so far as feels good on your back, and just breathe here. So you might stop where you feel a little bit happening in the body, not a lot. Elbows are up, chest is lowered, left knee's up in the air. And then lower your left knee. Take a breath in, reach your left arm out to the left, and when you exhale, slide your left arm behind your right, lower your left shoulder to the floor for thread the needle. Lean into your left elbow, breathe. Come back up to hands and knees. Reach your right leg back on the in-breath. And when you're ready, take your right knee to your right wrist for pigeon on this side. And any extra cushioning or pillows you want, swing your foot over to the left, some slide your left leg back. And take a breath in. Lift your back only so high it feels really sweet and almost effortless. And then exhale, lower down. And maybe readjust your hands. Inhale, lift your back up again. Exhale down. Inhale, lift up. And exhale down. Back to the breath. Deeper, slower, especially slower breaths might feel so sweet. If you can try less, please do. Go ahead and walk your hands in. However it feels effortless. Come up to hands and knees. And then separate the hands, maybe a little bit more than shoulders apart. You can stay on your palms or come onto your fingers, whatever you prefer. And find a hint of a lift in the chest. So you don't have to back bend too much in your lower back, but feel like you are lifting your chest up some, and then let your elbows bend in a way that's really comfortable, and let your chest lower towards the floor, and then straighten your arms. So you lower the chest, the shoulder blades moving towards each other. And straighten your arms. Now this time, lift your right leg up, bent knee, and lower your chest towards the floor, lifting your right knee. Lower the knee, come on up. And when you're ready to, reach your left leg back again. And when you breathe out, step the left foot to the left pinky. Wiggle it as far forward as you want to. Maybe you wiggle your right leg back and then let your left knee drop out to the left. You might come onto your elbows. Notice what's going on with your thoughts. whatever it is. Put your attention back to your breath. Climb up onto your hands, snug your left leg in. Keep the hands to the inside of that foot, lift your back knee up, breathe in. Walk your hands over to the right, and then turn so your hands are on the inside of your right foot and you're facing the back of the mat. Take a breath in, and then easy breezy, walk your hands over to the left foot, bend the left knee, face the OG front of your mat, and exhale back to the other side. Lots of breath. Switch. Switch. And the next time you're facing the front of the mat, the next time your left foot is forward and the knees bent, lower your right knee to the floor. Step your left foot back so that your knees are level and you're on hands and knees again. Inhale, lift the sit bones towards the ceiling, lift the sternum, lift the nose, drop the effort. Even if, as long as it doesn't hurt, right? Even if your elbows kind of lock out a little bit. And then with lots of breath, start making circles. So there's a little bit of extension in your back, maybe in your neck, a little bit of cow pose. And you're making circles in one direction and then the other. And then when you're ready, lengthen your back, point your nose forward, neutral spine, exhale. Inhale, reach your right arm out to the right. Exhale, needle your right arm behind. Your left hand, lower your right shoulder to the floor. Maybe come onto your left fingertips and breathe here. As much space as feels good between your knees. Kind of surrendering into your right arm. Imagine you were attempting to use the least amount of energy as possible in terms of thinking, moving, and even breathing. And plant your left hand on the floor, climb up to hands and knees, pause, reach your right leg back, breathe in. Bring the right knee to the right pinky and maybe wiggle the foot forward some and your back knee back some. Let your right leg drop out to the right. Possibly come onto your elbows. So you might consider a dog. My dog gets really hyper around other dogs sometimes. What happens if my husband's walking her and he sees another dog, he braces and he prepares and he pulls on her leash and she flips out. And if I'm walking her, I act like I don't even see the other dog and I just hold my chest up really high and I keep walking, and so does she. What happens right now when you don't give any power to the story? Climb up onto the hands, lift the back knee up. And rock forward and back. Take your front knee forward, your back heel forward, take them back. Take them forward, take them back. Take them forward, nice and easy. Walk your hands over to the left. Spin so you're facing the back of the mat, hands are on the inside of that left foot. Take your left knee and your right heel forward and back. Just breath. Forward and back. Forward and back. Walk your hands back towards the front of your space. Turn your right foot to face forward. Lower your left knee. Bring your right knee back to meet it. And swing your legs wherever you want to so you can sit behind them. Place the feet together in front of you. With quite a bit of space between your hips or between your pelvis and your feet. And when you're ready, start making some circles. You might flutter your knees up and down, rock side to side. Find a spot that feels good. Just some easy circles with your torso. And in the other direction. The next time you find your semi-folded, rock forward and rock side to side, rock left and right. If you need to adjust your hips or your legs so everything feels more comfortable, go ahead. But eventually land right in the middle. It doesn't matter how close you are to the floor, how rounded your back is, as long as you feel comfort in the body. You know, sometimes, really much of the time, if you've noticed, 100% comfort isn't what we're built for. It isn't what we're used to. We don't know how to do it. But it's not about causing thoughts or sensations to stop. It's about paying attention, noticing the full experience, and perhaps giving no power to the narrative. Can you surrender a little more? Can you relax a little more? Can you exhale a little more? And come on to your back. Letting your knees drop to one side for a breath. To the other side. The center, stretch your legs out. Rest your hands where you want them. Feel free to cover yourself with your blanket. So we're going to come out of the shape of Shavasana, but let's see if we can tap into, not attached to, just tap into the mentality. We're not going to attach to it, right? Because that gives it power. And when it goes away, we'll have to deal with that. We'll have to deal with that kind of ripping apart of it. So there's this light, very kind attention to ease, attention to non-reaction. You roll onto your side when you're ready, up to sit when you're ready. And maybe with the hands together or the palms facing the ceiling, and a sense of lightness and balance in the torso, ease in the face. Again, this knowledge that just because you think something doesn't mean you have to follow through or give it any power. And if you'd like to fold forward, bring the hands behind you. Lift the sternum, lift the heart, and then fold forward. And thank you very, very much.